Hey, welcome to Fierce Encouragement. This is a podcast for leaders, creatives, and high performers who are damn good at what they do, but they might be secretly wondering if they're losing themselves in the process. My name is Mark Walker. I'm a certified life coach. I'm a meditation teacher, and I worked in technology areas for over 20 years. And I'm also a student of the mind for well over 12 years. Now, if you are here, you probably don't need more productivity hacks. You need the truth. You need some more presence and maybe just a little fire in your gut again. So this show is your wake-up call. It's a soft place to land, and let's get right into it. Today I wanted to talk about a couple things. The first one is those stories playing in your head that you might not even be aware of. The second thing is the price that you're paying for waiting to deal with them. Let's start with a guy I spoke to recently. He is an executive, smart as hell. He's been out of work for over a year, and he told me in our conversation the other day that he's applied to over 1,000 jobs in the past 12 months. 1,000 jobs. And I asked him right out, I said, well, great. How's your inner dialogue these days? How's that inner self-image, that mindset? He paused for a long moment, and then he said, honestly, Mark, it's like a horror movie up there. That line stuck with me. Horror movie. Not just a bad day, not just a little bit of imposter syndrome. We're talking about a full-blown horror movie, a psychological warfare between his ears. Every scene is a jump scare. Every moment is dripping with sweat and dread. And you know what? I got it. I really did, because I have been there too. Maybe you have as well, living in that horror movie of your mind. Because most of us are walking around haunted. Now, what does that mean? We're not haunted by ghosts from our pasts, but we're haunted by our own thoughts. Those stories we didn't write, they keep coming up again and again, and we keep replaying them. Stories like, I'm not good enough. Stories like, they're going to find out when I don't know what I'm doing. Also something like, if I slow down, I'm going to lose everything. I need to keep grinding. You don't notice these stories as they come online right away in your mind because they feel normal, maybe even comfortable in their negativity. But it's just your brain doing what your brain does. It's firing off those old scripts, those old programs. It might be scanning for threats in your environment or in your internal world. And ultimately, those thoughts, the things that come from your brain, are just trying to keep you alive and safe and protected. But you know what? That constant buzz or that hum in the background, that soundtrack of self-doubt and distraction, it can add up. It really can add up. And here's the brutal truth. Your thoughts may not be true, but they are running your life. Now, I want to talk about waiting. What are we doing when we wait? This is what I see, especially over the last few months in high performers and people that I have the privilege to coach and the opportunity to coach. I see this all the time, again and again, especially in technology and especially in leadership. Very smart people, very driven people, logical and intellectual. They tell themselves things like, well, I'll deal with this after the next sprint or the next launch. Some other things I've heard is, I just need to get through this quarter. And of course, now's not the time, Mark. Now's not the time. And listen, I get it. I've been there as a former product owner and somebody who's done training and moving products to production. I get it. It's stressful, and we do need to just push through and power through. But I wanted to say this really clearly. We can't wait anymore. You can't wait because waiting is costing you more than you realize. Every day you ignore your mind, in your mindset and your attitude, you're reinforcing those patterns that burn you out. Every time you numb out with more doom scrolling or distracted scrolling, maybe more sugar or food, maybe more beer, or maybe even workaholism. When we numb out with those addictive habits, what we do is we push the real work further away. We push that best version of ourselves further away. And we honestly are building a life on sand, hoping it turns to solid stone. And then we wonder why. We wonder why our relationships have stalled out or maybe feel strained. We wonder why we can't sleep. We wonder why we might snap back at our teams and our coworkers. And ultimately, we feel like we're losing badly at something we can't quite name or describe. And I just want to say this, you're not overwhelmed. You're not burnt out. You're underconnected. Underconnected to you, underconnected to what really matters for you. What's the transformative power that is in your life? And I just wanted to call out something here that I've struggled with and that I see so many struggle with. Former clients, current clients, and I'm sure I'll meet some more in the future. And maybe this applies to you. I wanted to call this out, multitasking. Have you ever heard someone say, "Hey, I'm a great multitasker"? Well, the translation of that simply is, "Hey, I'm really good at switching tasks rapidly and never going deep enough to master anything." And that sounds mean and trite, but honestly, our brains were not built for multitasking or doing many things at once. They were built to focus deeply on one project and one thing at a time. But what are we doing? What are we doing in this hyper-connected age? We're living in a world of continuous partial attention on our work or our relationships or something else. We might have Slack or Microsoft Teams open. We might have email pinging and dinging. We might have our phone open with, Candy Crush. We might have 20 tabs open on our browser. We might even have a little music on in the background running, thinking that we're kind of calming down. We think that we're getting stuff done. But in reality, we're swimming in a warm, shallow, pea-filled pool of productivity. It might feel nice. It might be warm. But honestly, you're not growing. You're swimming around in a very shallow pool, in the kiddie pool. So what if instead you carved out some deep, deliberate work blocks every week? Truly. Box out an hour or two this week. That's time for you to wrestle with your ideas and get creative. Maybe it's time to feel your own breath again for those deep work blocks, just slowing down, getting passionate and reinvigorated about your work. Maybe it is a good time, a deep work block, a reflective block, to just simply reflect on the past week or the past sprint. It's time to actually master something. Those deep work blocks, they're time to actually master something, be it some coding, some higher strategies, or some coaching modalities you could bring in to your own mind as a leader, as a guide. So how do we begin again? Well, let's do this. And I wanted to share these journaling prompts. So you might be driving or out there in the world, and maybe just take a moment or two to think on these as we wind this episode down, or just sit with these after your walk. But the first question is this: how do we begin again? Well, number one, we want to identify what kind of movie is playing in your mind right now. So what kind of movie is your mind right now? Is it a horror, a thriller, a drama, a messy rom-com? What kind of movie is playing in your mind right now? The second thing is, how are your thoughts shaping your body, your decisions, your sleep, and your joy? Truly, really, go there. How are your thoughts shaping everything from your body to your sleep to your joy? Third question, what is waiting costing you? In time, in energy, in relationships, in your peace? What is waiting costing you? Now, we don't have to write a novel on these journal prompts. Just get really honest with yourself. Even a sentence or two can be very, very powerful for helping you see through why you might be waiting, what your thoughts are costing you, and basically what kind of movie is on the mind or on the movie screen of your mind right now. Awareness is the first station that we need to go through. We need to bring up the level of awareness. And you've been running on autopilot long enough. So I want to invite you to try those journaling prompts out. I have been recently finishing up the book, The Distracted Mind. It's from Adam Gazzaley, I'm probably mispronouncing his name, and Larry Rosen. A wonderful book that talks about our old biological brains kind of caught in this modern world and what effect that has on us. Here's 3 quotes that really hit home for me. The brain has allowed us to perform extraordinary feats, and yet we still forget to pick up milk on the way home. Have you been there? I know I have. We have these amazing minds that can, have complex tasks, but we kind of forget the simple things. Second quote. The real reason behind constant task switching is a desire to feed emotional needs. Often by switching from schoolwork to entertainment or social communication rather than cognitive or intellectual needs. Yeah, that one really spoke to me. Thinking of my propensity to distract myself with more shallow work, it is that emotional need for me to feel, more productive instead of kind of going deep on that one cognitive issue that I want to get through. So yeah, that was a very powerful quote for me. Here's the third quote I wanted to share. Multitasking isn't a strength. It's a liability disguised as a skill. Wow, let that one land. So easily we fall into that trap of thinking of being busy is being productive, and just multitasking is valuable work, but it's not true. I think this quote and this book really kind of brings into focus, for me at least, what is the reason? What's that emotional need we're feeling when we constantly task switch and then come back, like letting ourselves work deeply on one task, giving ourselves, our calendar, our work time permission to go deeper, to not be duped or distracted into multitasking, thinking that's powerful work. It isn't. So here's your fierce encouragement for today. You are not broken. You are overwhelmed. And you are capable of so much more than just surviving week to week. But you have to stop pretending that the noise and the distractions will sort themselves out. Now, if this episode hit something in you in particular, if your inner movie is more like Saw 4 rather than Ted Lasso, I want to talk to you. I'm opening up a few spots for coaching conversations this next month or two. These aren't free strategy sessions. They're not fluffy, let's just chat conversations. These are real focused conversations that help you get honest about what is working in your work and your life and what could work better. And if you're curious, just look at the show notes and apply for a quick session with me. I review every application personally. And if you're not ready for that, cool. I would just love to hear from you in other ways. So message me on LinkedIn or on Instagram and tell me what genre your mind's movie is on right now. But let's start that dialogue. Let's get really real. Let's stop waiting. Because honestly, your peace, your depth, your power, it's not out there. It's already inside of you. Let's remember that together. So thanks for being here. This is Fierce Encouragement. My name is Mark Walker, and you're not alone. If this episode moved you, please share it. If it's cracked open something bigger inside of you, hey, act on it today, right away. And if you're tired of playing small in your own damn story, well, let's talk. Until next time, stay awake, stay human, stay fierce, and encourage yourself endlessly. Take care. Have a good evening, or a good night, or a good day wherever you're at. All right, bye-bye now.